Ike, Bryant, like what's that competition look like?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty heated competition. I think both of them bring something different. Ike has been here for a little bit, knows how our program is run, knows the expectations within the room and within the program. And he's done a good job thus far. He had all the snaps here in the spring. And then enter Bryant Worrell, who's snapped at different schools, different locations, but he hasn't really done it here at Iowa. And so I feel like both are, the competition's still neck and neck. There's no, this guy's the first guy, this guy's the second guy. It's still wide open right now, and excited about the competition.
Can you describe, like, for someone who isn't as well versed in special teams as you are, like how important this snapper job is? Because I feel like some people might just like gloss over it and be like, oh, whatever. But like, it's a.
Sure, I think a lot of people gloss over it. To be fair, we've been very fortunate to have very good snappers here in Iowa, and most recently the one Luke Elkin, who's doing camp with the Chicago Bears, and so I think everyone kind of gets used to that level of snapping here in particular, and you kind of just forget about them. Because you don't really see bad snap, errant snap, like that. But what a good snapper will do is he will allow the punter and the kicker to stay in rhythm and not have to bury anything. Makes the holder's job easy, makes the punter's job easy. And then for us, that's always been a threat in coverage as well.
What's Coach Ferentz like on the Sunday when they're lost? What's his demeanor?
Coach Ferentz, as long as I've known the guy, so you're looking at 26 years, his demeanor is the same. It's not, if you win, it's not like he's super elated and jumping off the walls. If you lose, he's slamming doors, things like that. That's not Coach Ferentz at all. He's pretty steady, pretty even keel. But it's always good to be around him because he'll always find a way to lift you back up and pick you back up off the mat. I go back to things that stick out in my mind. In 2016, this is years past, but we lost a game against. We went to Penn State. We got beat up pretty good at Penn State. Somehow we come back in, and everyone's feeling bad at that point. Coach Ferentz found a way to lift us all up, pick us up off the mat, and we play Michigan here at home, make a walk-off field goal to win the game. Against a number 2 opponent. So I think you can't do those kind of things without the leadership and steadiness of Coach Ferentz.
You're one of these few guys who's gotten to know Kirk since his literal first days on campus. You've been around him. Is there any way that he's changed over these last 27 years, or is he still kind of the same guy you knew back then?
I think he deep down is the same guy. The same guy. The things I talk about, the stability, the consistency, the even keelness of Coach Ferentz is the same. He's adapted with the times. People are different. The game is different. College football, the landscape is different. He's adjusted with that. But overall, like the things he preaches, the core values, the fundamentals, the discipline, all that stuff is still there. Still Coach Ferentz.
LeVar, going back to long snapper for just a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you love talking about snapping, right?
Who doesn't?
That's right. So is there a possibility you guys used to in punting field goal situations?
Yeah, I think everything's on the table right now. We're just trying to find the best guys that make the best units to make our football team best as possible.
And then holder, I'm assuming Ty is maybe in the lead there, but is it he and Reese that are splitting most of those reps?
So he and Reese are splitting the reps. They're pretty even right now. I would say Ty is the upper hand just because he has game experience right now. But I don't think Reese is far behind him.
Okay. And then seems like I'd have to go back and count the last time you guys had 6 quarterbacks on roster heading into fall. Is there a potential of using a Ryan Fitzgerald and getting him up to speed with holding? Like, what's the approach with using quarterbacks as holders?
Sure, I think all that's on the table. Typically we'll ask a guy, did you do it in high school? And the guys that raise their hand, we feel have potential to do it in college. We test them out, we train them. We've done it with guys in the past as well.
Is there anybody in that quarterback room that did hold in high school?
All of them have held at some point.
Good.
But right now we haven't been totally focused on those guys.
Good.
The 2 we have right now have done a really good job.
Can Ty throw?
Yeah, I think Ty can throw, Reese can throw, Zach Lutmer can throw, Fitzgerald can throw, all the guys that have worked as a holder for us. If you can't throw, it's going to be really hard to be a holder.
From my conversations with Drew Stevens, every time I talk to him, he's kind of got me thinking. I'm just like, he's just an interesting guy who's very analytical or just seems to really be a thinker. Is he the standard kicker personality, or is he a guy that you also have those conversations with him and he gets you thinking too?
Yeah, I'm not sure what a standard kicker personality is. I know the guys that I've worked with, they've all been tremendously hard workers, very, very diligent at what they do, very knowledgeable at what they do, very driven guys, almost like insane type driven. I think Drew fits right along with that. Drew's very obsessive with his craft, and he learns it, and he tries to push, and he challenges himself challenging himself to get out of his comfort zone. To me, that's the kind of guy I want to coach. Not only Drew, but I think Reese is that way. All the guys we've had have been that way, that have been highly successful. And personality-wise, I think Mike Vrabel said this the other day, and I would love to coin this phrase. Okay, I'd love to coin it, but it's not me. He said it about I don't care. You can have different personalities. You have to have the same mentality. We have to be aggressive. We have to be a guy that wants to go score points, a guy that wants to take the field, that's not afraid of the opportunity. I think we have that in our room, all of our guys. I'll throw Caden Moore in that as well. He's a freshman. He hasn't played in a game here, but that guy attacks every day, and it's the same way that Reese does. But I'm glad you brought that up about the same way Reese and Drew. I'm glad you brought that up about Drew because he's a different personality for sure. But man, he's fun to be around right now.
Oh yeah.
What's your confidence level in Caden? Or
Confidence level is fine. Yeah, no, it's high. Saw him do it in high school. He does it well here. Just got to keep getting better and keep refining his craft.
About kick return, who are the guys maybe at the top of the pecking order?
So kick return, we actually start next week.
Okay.
But Region's done it in games, done well with that. I think you see some of the same names I mentioned before with T.J. Washington. I think Kamari Moulton's in that mix. I think the Jazz is in that mix. I think that some young guys like Braden Jackson and McNeil are in that mix. Sam Phillips. I think we've got a good group of guys to work with. We haven't quite installed that. That'll go in next week, but feel good about those guys.
Punt return, like back up to Caden. What's the backup
right now?
plan there?
If we were to play a game today, right, Caden would get the first shot. After that, I think Zach Lutmer's done a really good job. I think Sam Phillips, he has game experience, done a good job at his previous stop. I think KJ Parker's in that mix. Terrell Washington's in that mix. So again, it's a bunch of guys that I think have a chance to be good players.
Thanks, Coach.